Hi guys, this is Andre, I'm Adam, and this is Apollo Strikes Back, where we fight ignorance in 3 languages, so join the rebellion.
You may be asking yourself, what's going on in this world? Why some countries fight with some other countries? What's going on in Islamic world? What happened with Ukraine and Russia? And what's going on with these increasing military spendings in China? And the book we're reviewing today might give you some food for thoughts regarding this topic.
The book we're covering today is called Clash of Civilizations. It was written in 1996 by Samuel P. Huntington. This guy used to be, before he died in 2008, a political scientist, and he was also an advisor to State Department.
When the book was published in 1996, it caused a lot of arguments because there were so many people out there who disagreed heavily with the idea of the book. And there were professors of universities who wrote their own books in order to fight the idea of this one. So stay tuned and get your own opinion. The book has 3.9 stars out of 5 on the website Amazon.com and was reviewed by 361 people. The book is big as American military spendings, and we had to really heavily compress it in order to put it in 10 minutes. So if you really want to know everything written in this book, you'd better get it, and you can find a link somewhere down below. Let me check. Oh yeah, it's there. Yeah.
We divided the content of the book in 4 parts. In the first one, we tell you what the world looks like after the end of the Cold War. In the second part, we give you definitions of culture and civilization. In the third part, we explain you why there won't be a global culture at all. And in the last part, we tell you what the world is going to look like. But it was written in 1996.
And some things happened already. The first part, the outcome of the end of the Cold War.
During the Cold War, the world was separated in 2 different poles. On the one side, you have Western culture with capitalism. On the other side, you have communists, the Russians and the Chinese. And these two, they don't like each other. But this global conflict also caused some kind of global stability, meaning that every state on this planet have to commit to one side, either to the communists or to the capitalists. And since ideology was the main point of identity, all of these people within the states, they don't have any reason to fight and kill each other because they were all united by these ideologies. And a war between countries from different ideologies would just cause global destruction, nuclear war. So that's the reason why we had global stability.
With the end of the Cold War, this identity masses of people had based on the ideology, it disappeared. But people still had to find their own identity. Who am I? What should I do? Which camp I belong to? And therefore people started to identify themselves with local cultures. And according to the author, this will inevitably cause conflicts based on the clashes between cultures. The second part is about cultures and civilizations. Let's start with the definition of culture. Culture is a social construction which is defined by similar language, religion, tradition, ethnicity, and all these things, they bind people together in one society. And you also have different level of cultures. You can take culture on a city level. For example, yo, what's up, dude? We're from Düsseldorf. Have you heard about this awesome hipster place somewhere in Altstadt?
It's awesome and hipster.
Exactly. But then we go to Hamburg from Düsseldorf and they have no fucking clue about this place in Düsseldorf, but we're still from the same culture. And then you go up and upper on the level of region, then on the level of the country. And then even though France and Germany are different countries, it's still the same culture. And the highest level is the same civilization.
Civilization is the word.
Interesting point, guys. In civilization with the same culture, you oftentimes can meet different political institutions. You can have communists and Democrats in the same civilization.
Another important point within this part is that there is no universal culture, Otto says. He says that there won't be a universal culture. He says that every civilization keeps their own culture. And he also says that, yeah, cultures, they're sometimes, they take parts of other cultures and they adapt it to their own culture, like eating habits, but they will never fully apply the foreign culture to their own or even abandon their own culture. No, the cultures will stay different and there won't be a universal culture. And you might say, but Western culture is so awesome with democracy and free market.
Love it.
Yeah, it will spread around the world. And with globalization, everyone will become part of Western culture. But author says, no, that won't happen. Other cultures won't fully adapt our Western democratic culture, and it will not become the universal culture.
Wait for a second, Adam. But you are lying saying that there won't be a universal culture. And let me tell you why. Look at what's going on in the world. you know, the whole world is getting these ideas from West. Everyone listens to Katy Perry and everyone has laptops nowadays. So Western culture is spreading all over the world. So don't fucking lie to me.
Fair point, Andre, but modernization doesn't mean westernization. Meaning that, yeah, all of these countries in China, they take our modern capitalistic ideology. And yes, they have also some kind of free markets there, but that doesn't mean that they take our Western culture. They won't take our religion, and they won't also take our democratic freedom stuff. They don't need it. They just need their laptops and Katy Perry.
So guys, let's sum up. In the first part, we realized what happened to the world after the end of the Cold War. In the second part, we learned the definition of culture and civilization. And now we know that there is no chance that we will have one global civilization all over the world, regardless of the fact that we have this modernization spreading everywhere. And now in the third part, we're going to take a look at the 8 civilizations defined by the author.
According to the author, the world can be divided into 8 different civilizations, and most of them also have so-called core states. And these are the followings.
Confucian civilization with the core state in China.
Japanese civilization, the core state and the only state is Japan.
Hindu civilization, core state is in India.
Islamic civilization, which doesn't have a core state because it's so heterogeneous.
Orthodox civilization, core state is Russia.
Western civilization, the core state is the US, but in Europe it's also France and Germany.
Latin America, even though it's a civilization, there is no core state. Why? Have no clue. Read the book.
And the last one, Sub-Saharan African civilization. It's also very heterogeneous and it also doesn't have a core state, but author says that maybe one day South Africa will become the core state.
Interesting facts about these 8 civilizations. According to the author, sometimes this boundary and the edge between different civilizations go through the country. For example, if you take Ukraine, actually according to the author, the eastern part of Ukraine and the western part of Ukraine, though they belong to different civilizations. Whew, guys, we finally arrived to the last part of the book. In the first part we learned that after the end of the Cold War there is no more identity based on ideology, communist and capitalist. Then we learned that there are such things as civilizations. Then we learned that there are 8 civilizations which cannot be united because of differences on cultural level. And now let's talk about what the author predicted 20 years ago.
Back then, in 1996, when the book was released, author said that since Cold War is over and identities within states are not anymore based on ideology and identities are now based on culture, there will be a clash of civilizations. And the 8 civilizations we mentioned so far, they will have some wars within states and between states. And a lot of the stuff the author back then in 1996 wrote down in his book actually happened. So
For example, Adam,
yeah.
give me examples,
Yeah,
some tangible stuff.
I will just fucking let me go through my points, okay?
Please do.
Author said that Crimea will be taken by Russia from Ukraine. Happened. Author said that there will be like
Krym nash!
there will be wars everywhere within the Islamic civilization because the Western civilization will try to modernize and bring democracy to this place. Even the rising tensions between China and the West were predicted by the author in 1996.
Then the author gives the only advice which he gives in the book. He says that the West should stop trying to westernize the whole world. The West should accept that there are different civilizations with cultural differences and they should exist the way they are. And the only thing which might be spread all over the world is modernization. Also, the West should accept that its population shrinking, the economy is stagnating, which means that the influence of the West is going down. This is something we should reconcile ourselves with. And if the West doesn't stop doing what it's doing now, there is possibility of the clash of civilizations. And we don't want this thing to happen.
No, and that's why we want you to know this stuff in the book.
Yes, so please be tolerant towards different civilizations because they're awesome.
Okay guys, this was our summary of the book Clash of Civilizations from Samuel P. Huntington. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was really just a short overview, really. It's a thick book with a lot of content. If you think the topic is interesting, get the book. Here, from this link, we provided for you, you can get the book. And if you're also interested in this topic, you might find our video about the book The Grand Chessboard, written by Brzezinski, also interesting. You can watch it right here.
Right there.
Okay, guys? So, thank you for watching.
If you like what we do here, give us a thumbs up. If you hate us and you think we should commit suicide, just thumbs down, your choice. Have
Yeah.
a good one.